Okay, and I have explained you at a high level, how many types of hierarchies are there: supervisor hierarchy, position hierarchy, job level hierarchy, approval group, single approver. And also we discussed a few conditions on how to configure the requisition approvals also. I'm selecting the procurement. From the procurement, approvals, and if I go to requisition approvals, and under the first responder wins or anything, any stage you can take it. And I would like to explain the remaining conditions also. In the requisitions, what are the important conditions I've given in the table here? We can write approval rules on the business unit based on the business unit and based on the amount and based on the currency and based on whether the requisition is internal requisition or external requisition. So this is nothing but, I'll show you the condition. Okay, so see here. Internal transfer requisition. So if you select S here, that is going to be internal requisition. If you select no, that's a. If you select no, that's a. What type of requisition?
External requisition.
Okay. And based on the job of the employee, we can configure approvals. And we have discussed that in the last session, how to configure the job level hierarchy is discussed in the last session. So every job in the company, every job is having certain signing limit. Okay. So if you configure approvals based on the job limit, then, hope you remember. So for manager job, if the requisition is below 10K, we need to auto approve. For the manager job, if he is creating the requisition, suppose he is the requester or he is the preparer. It could be requester job or it could be preparer job. Suppose if the requester job or preparer job, if it is more than 10K, then we need to configure one rule between 10K to 20K and between 20K to 30K and 30K to 40K and 40K to 50K. Okay, we need to define each rule like this. Okay, that also I mentioned in the last session. And based on the DFF also, we are creating the DFF, right? Based on the DFF also, we can configure approvals based on the DFF. Okay, so these DFFs also you'll find in the, after you create a DFF, so whether you have created DFF under which attribute. Hope you seen while creating the DFF, you'll see attributes. You have to select the attribute, whether the DFF you are storing under attribute 1 or attribute 2 or attribute 3. Okay. So here, if you scroll down, let me show you the requisition header related. I'm selecting the requisition header. And if I completely scroll down, I'm able to see header page related attributes, nothing but DFF. Yeah, you see. Where is this? Yeah, here it is. The left hand side, attribute 1. Okay, attribute 2, attribute 3, attribute 4. The DFF, you are creating a number DFF. If you are creating number DFF, you can use this. See here, header number attribute 1, header number attribute 2, header number attribute 3. So the DFF that you have created on which attribute? So this is for the character. Header text attribute 1 and attribute 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 like that. Okay. So this is based on the requisition header level attribute, and similarly based on the requisition line level attributes also we can configure approvals. So if I scroll down, and these are line level attributes. And you can also write conditions based on the category. So suppose in the requisition, which category of items has been ordered? which category of items has been ordered. Okay, based on the item category also, we can route for the approvals. Based on the location also, based on the location, the delivery location that you specified. The ship to location or the delivery location, to which location you are expecting the stock to be delivered based on the delivery location. Okay. And some companies, they have a location manager, site manager. Do you remember site manager? I think you heard about the site manager, location manager. So you need to take the approval from them when you're purchasing something to that site or something to that location. Okay. And then like header amount, if you want, you can configure approvals based on the line amount also. And based on the line type in the sense, we have these line type sites, goods and fixed price services. Okay. So based on the line types also, we can configure approvals. So based on the department also, suppose if the request is from quality department, it need to be approved by the quality manager. I'll show you. That is also a condition. Okay, see here, requester department. So I'm preparing the requisition, I'm the preparer, and you are the requester, and your department is quality department. So we can configure approvals to route for the quality department manager approval. Or you are from HR department, you are the requester. So you need to take HR manager approval. Okay, based on the department of the employee also, approvals can be configured. Okay, and this is DFF. And there is something called based on the account also. Based on the account also. This account is nothing but, in case of totally, I call it as the distribution accounts, charge account, and then variance account, and then accrual account. So these three accounts, I call it as a distribution accounts. So this charge account is nothing but, so, if you are requesting something, means that need to be procured and purchased from the supplier, right? It's a purchase, right? It's a purchase that need to be charged to, that amount has to be charged to which company, which department, who is requesting for that item, who is requesting for that service. It need to be charged to that respective company, that respective department, right? So whether the request is coming from, the quality department or HR department, okay, it has to be charged to that particular company, that particular department. Okay. And variance account is nothing but, this is the difference between, this is the difference between item cost and the price. What is the cost that you defined for the item and for which price you are purchasing? The difference goes to the variance account. I think we have seen this variance account entry during the costing module. Variance account entry, we have seen this. Okay. And what is accrual account? So this is a carry forward account. This is a carry forward account, and also this is a temporary account. So when I say temporary account, till you generate the invoice, the value is stored in this account. You have purchased the stock and you received the stock. Let's take you received 100 rupees. Till you invoice that 100 rupees, the value is going to be under the accrual account. That means whatever the amount that you see in the accrual account, that is pending for invoicing. Clear? These three accounts are called as distribution accounts. Clear, team?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And these three accounts are applicable for the PO. But in case of requisition, only the first two accounts are applicable. Why first two accounts are applicable? Because the accrual accounts start taking into the picture or coming into the picture after the PO is received. So this will come into the picture after the PO. Okay, that's why these 3 accounts are applicable for PO, but for requisition only the first 2 accounts. For only first 2 accounts.
Sir, I have a question that in accrual account, you said PO received. PO received means GRN has been created against that PO, right?
Yes.
Okay, got it.
Okay, so in the requisition, or in the requisition, when you create requisition, only these 2 accounts are gonna hit, and for the purchase order, these 3 accounts are gonna hit. Okay, and we can also configure approvals based on these accounts also. Okay, suppose if the charge account is so and so, okay, we can configure approvals based on this account also, this code combinations also based on that. Okay, so how that is possible? Suppose if you select the charge account, if the charge account is equals to, okay, nothing but in the requisition, and you see this format, okay, if you observe this format, so this is in your chart account, in your chart of account, how many segments are there? Okay, suppose in this example, how many segments are there? In this example, how many segments are there? Simply, how many stars are there?
7.
Okay, 1, 2,
6,
3, 4,
5, 6.
5, 6. That means 6 segments are there. Okay, in this example, and out of these 6 segments, the charge account, the first segment could be any account, and second segment could be any value. Third and fourth and fifth and sixth could be any value. But you know, is this segment should be 1112. Okay, so when you say star, it's nothing but any account, any number. But when you say this, like when you enter like this, it is particular account, particular number. So we need to, this is the format. If you want to configure approvals based on the accounts, then this is the format that has to be used. Okay, clear? So that is about requisition approvals, and based on the, you know, I'm covering all the conditions and all the attributes based on the client requirement. Okay, some clients, they will ask us to route approvals based on the requisition amount, or based on the requisitioning BU, or based on the item category, or based on the job of the employee, or based on the department of the employee, or based on the account, based on the charge account. So different requirements you will face. So according to those requirements, you need to configure the approvals. Okay.
So Krishna, in this example, if my chart of account contains the segment 3 equal to 1112, then it will go to the approval, right?
Yes.
It will check for the segment 3 always.
Yes. Segment 3. Remaining segments, it could be any value.
Anything.
Anything. Yeah.
Okay.
This is the format. Okay. This format I have given in the template in the document. Okay. So, you know, you refer this document. Now, let's talk about the PO conditions. Purchase order, you know, these conditions are normal, like based on the business unit, based on the amount. Okay, that is quite common conditions. Based on the procurement BU, based on the procurement amount, those are quite common conditions. But other than that, what are the remaining conditions are there in the PO? We'll discuss. So you see here, based on the BU amount, sorry, based on the BU and based on the amount, and also coming to this amount, there are 2 amount related fields are there. 2. If I click on add condition, and what is the condition here? Document ordered. document ordered. Document ordered amount and
value, I think, that one. Document value, something.
only I'm taking the header level attributes, header level. And here on the amount, okay, you see document ordered amount and document total amount. We can write condition based on the ordered amount or based on the total amount. Sir, what is the difference between ordered amount and total amount? You know, ordered amount is nothing but the core, the base amount, and total amount, it includes the tax also. It includes the tax also. Okay. So if you want to configure approvals based on the base amount or based on including the total PO amount. Okay, understood the difference between these two conditions? Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay, like that, you know, I have mentioned the important conditions over here. And when you say PO, you know, buyer comes into the picture. Okay. Suppose if the purchase order is directly created, if it is created from the requisition, you know, we are handling most of the approvals in the requisition itself. Suppose if the PO directly created, then based on the buyer related conditions also we can route for the approvals. Nothing but based on the buyer name, based on the buyer job, based on the buyer department. Okay, I have given example for the requester department, preparer department, right? Suppose if the request is from quality department, quality manager has to approve or HR manager approve. Similarly, so buyer department. So buyer is belongs to which department? The department manager has to approve the PO. Okay, and based on the buyer job level also, job level in the sense when you're creating a job of the employee, we are entering the level. Okay, so here we entered level 10, 20 like that, right? What is the buyer job level? Accordingly, we can route for the approvals also. This is buyer related conditions. Okay, and also there is some important condition called backing requisition. When I say backing requisition, suppose if the PO created from a requisition, Suppose if the PO is created from a requisition, nothing but if a PO contains a backing requisition. If it contains a backing requisition, then I want the PO to be approved automatically. Why I want the PO to be approved automatically? Because that PO created from a requisition, because you see this condition. If the PO got created from a requisition, I want auto approval because in the requisition level itself, we have handled all the approvals. Understood? What is the condition here?
Yes, sir.
In the requisition level itself, we have handled all the approvals. So in the requisition itself, in the post approval, we have taken the buyer approval also. In the requisition post approval stage, we have taken the funds manager approval or finance department approval. All the approvals you handled in the requisition itself. In the first step itself, requisition is the first step, right? So PO is the second step. So in the first step itself, we handled everything. That's why we want the step to be auto approved. And if you create a purchase order without any requisition, then you route for the approvals. Okay. This is one condition, important condition. And after that, based on the type of the PO, hope you remember, we have standard purchase order, blanket purchase agreement, and contract purchase agreement. Okay. So, if it is a standard purchase order, it's a one-time purchase. But in case of agreement, you are creating the agreement for a couple of years. So especially for agreements, you need to have a complex approvals. Give me a second. Please.
కొంచెం చిప్పేసియా ఎవరియా
Okay. So in case of agreements, we have to take approvals from many people because the reason agreement, it's we're gonna do the business with the supplier for quite long time. That's why you have to take the approvals from most of the people. So here, based on the document type, the condition is document type. Okay, you see here whether you are creating a purchase order or whether you are creating a blanket purchase agreement or contract purchase agreement. Okay, accordingly we can route for the approvals. This is based on the type of the document that you are creating. I just covered the backing requisition. And also this is for the change order. When I say change order, what is meant by change order, team?
Updating the PO.
Getting
Updating
Like
PO
Updating
without
anything on the
after approval.
approved PO.
Yeah, approved PO. Okay, so based on the change order. Okay, so based on the change order type, whether that is an internal change order or whether that is external change order. External change order. Based on the change order type and based on the who initiated the change order. When I say who initiated the change order, initiated party, the change order can be initiated by the requester. You can initiate the change order, or the change order can be initiated by the buyer. Buyer can initiate the change order. So requester can initiate the change order from the requisition. Buyer can initiate the change order from the purchase order. Okay, and supplier also can initiate the change order from the supplier portal. From the supplier portal, once the supplier receives the PO, the supplier can update the PO. Okay, And other option is application. The application is nothing but, in case if you are performing the changes in bulk using the FBDI or using the REST API, okay. So in that case, application is performing the changes, right? So that is application level. So based on the, suppose an example, suppose if the change order is initiated by the supplier, who should approve it? Suppose if the change order is initiated by the supplier, who is the first person that should approve? Who is the first person that should approve?
Requester.
Buyer. Okay. Buyer should approve. And as part of the action too, you can configure request approvals. Requester. I'm selecting route using single approver. I'm selecting the requester. Okay, step 1 and step 2. So suppose if the supplier is initiating a change order, that need to be accepted by the buyer and that need to be accepted by the requester. So I think you understood the real importance of the single approver here in this example. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so next is, this is common based on the category, based on the purchase order delivery location, based on the purchase order amount, and based on the line type. Okay. And based on the accounts also, like I have mentioned, right? Charge account, and then variance account, accrual account. Based on the accounts also, we can route for the approvals. Okay. Okay, team.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
And now I would like to, cover one more scenario here. If it is requisition, the requisition can always create in the functional currency. Requisition always create in the functional currency. Always create in the functional currency. And what about purchase order? The purchase order, it can be created in different currencies. Okay. It can create in different currencies. So when I say different currencies, our functional currency could be Indian rupees, but your supplier is from Europe. So you create a purchase order in Euro. Supplier is from US, you create purchase order in US dollar. So you can create a PO in foreign currencies, or nothing but you can create PO in any other currencies. Okay. And in the approvals, suppose we have condition based on the ordered amount, right? Based on the document ordered amount. Suppose if I entered less than or equal to 10,000, when I say 10,000, which 10,000? For that, you have to add the currency here, right? For that, you have to add the currency as a condition. Suppose you have added the currency as here condition INR. Okay. Now let me delete this condition. Now here we have two conditions. So 10,000 INR. Suppose if the PO created in Euro, if the PO created in USD, or PO created in Singapore dollar, or Korean won. Okay, a lot of currencies are there, right? So how you write the rules in this case? How you write the rules in this case? Okay, so for that, Oracle provided a concept called. So always you can, configure approvals on the base amount. When I say base amount, suppose if the client will ask you to configure approvals based on certain currency, nothing but if the PO is $10 route for this approval, if the PO is $100, PO is $5,000 or $10,000 route for, so client will tell you the base currency. Because when the client is giving the requirement, when the client is talking 100 rupees or $100, okay, the client will give you the requirement based on the not only amount, he will also specify the currency also. Okay, that's called as a base currency. Suppose here in this example, if you take base currency is USD, okay. So suppose if the PO got created under INR or PO got created under Euro or PO got created under Singapore dollar or PO got created under Korean won, okay. So all these PO currencies, nothing but PO amount, we have to convert into the USD. We have to convert into the USD, okay. And the client has provided you the requirement based on the USD currency. Nothing but the client has provided you like this. Suppose if the amount is less than or equal to 100 or between 100 to 200 USD, okay, or between 300 to 200 to 300 USD, you know, the client has given you the requirement. So what is our plan now? The plan is any PO created in other currencies, we have to convert it to the USD, right? So for that, instead of using the currency condition, okay, we have to create a separate condition. Let me show you. So here that is called as a user defined condition. I'm going to the user defined condition and I'm creating a condition here. I'm naming this as a base currency. I'm naming this as a base currency. Okay. So any other currencies. Okay. So what I'm trying to do is, if the PO okay, if the PO, you know, ordered amount, if the PO ordered amount, see, this USD is nothing but the base currency. Always we have to convert to which currency, team? Always we need to convert the PO amount to which currency? The USD. Understood the condition here? Our PO amount, we are always converting into the USD. Clear? And what is the conversion rate? What is the conversion rate?
Corporate.
Okay. So we have loaded the exchange rates, the conversion rates under the corporate rate type. Okay. I'm selecting the corporate and click on OK. And instead of using the here, what we have done in the rules, we selected the directly currency, right? Instead of that, you select the base currency. The base currency is nothing but the user defined currency. Select that. Okay, so here, so the type is nothing but this is standard attributes, and we create our own attribute, right? So select that user defined attribute and select the attribute that you have created and enter the amount. Enter the amount. So here, less than or equal to, so what is the first here? Less than 100. And what is in the second rule, how you have to configure this one? Instead of less than 100, you know, between one more rule, between 100 to 200, between 200 to 300, we need to configure separate rules. Understood the base currency concept?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay. And coming to the change order, you know, I want to configure approvals, I mean, change in amount. This is important condition for the change order. Now we are for the change order. Suppose, you know, we have touched the approved purchase order, nothing but we have modified the approved purchase order. was because of our modification. Suppose if the PO amount is changed, only 10 rupees is changed. Only 10 rupees is changed. Okay. In that case, I would like to configure auto approvals. Okay, we updated the PO, but because of our update, no change happened in the amount. I mean to say less amount, very, very small amount. The changes happened very, very small here. Okay, and we have to configure approvals for that. So based on the change in the amount also, if the change is a small change, a small amount, we can configure auto approval. Or if the change is between $100 to $200 or $1,000 to $2,000, accordingly also we can route for the approvals. This is change order, change in the amount. Okay. So that is about the PO approvals. And two important points I would like to explain. Here, we are configuring a lot of rules, right? We are configuring a lot of rules. So which rule the system will pick up it based on the condition. Your requisition or your PO is matched to which conditions, that rule it will trigger. That particular rule it will trigger. Okay. And suppose in case if lot of rules has been created, suppose an example, if 500 rules are created and 1,000 rules are being created, so system is going to validate all the 1,000 rules, and whichever the rule is applicable for that requisition order for the PO, it will trigger that particular rule. Okay. And here, while creating the rule, there is something called priority. There is something called priority. This priority is nothing but always system is going to verify, always system is going to trigger the highest rules. First, the system will check the highest rule and it will trigger that highest rule approver first. It will trigger highest rule approver first. Okay. Highest, higher, high, medium, low, lower, lowest. Okay. You can configure approvals based on the priority also. Accordingly, approval, the application is going to verify that approval rules. Okay. And it will trigger the approval. Suppose in case you configure two rules. You configure two rules. One rule you configured under the highest and it should be approved by A, and you configure another rule on the lowest, it should be approved by B. So totally how many rules are there here? Two rules are there. So first approval goes to whom?
Yeah.
A. And next approval
highest.
goes to B. Why
B.
it goes to B? Because the
Yes.
rule that you created is a lowest rule.
Lowest.
Okay, clear?
Yes.
Again, one more important point I would like to mention. Important, this is very, very important. Here we have a lot of stages, right? Application is always goes by the sequence. When I say sequence, let me enable multiple stages here. So out of all these stages, we enabled 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 stages we enabled. Okay. First application goes to this stage. Nothing but if you submit a purchase order for the approval. If you submit a PO for the approval, first system is going to verify the stage. In this stage, any valid condition is there for that PO or not, it will verify. If there is a valid condition, it will trigger that approval. Okay. And next it will trigger the approval from this stage. So this is going to be in sequence. First, second, after that, third, and after that, fourth. It's going to happen. The approvers are going to identified in a sequence. Suppose example, in the first stage, there is no valid condition for that PO. You configured a couple of rules, but for that PO, none of the conditions, none of the rules are satisfied. Then what will happen? It will fail there itself. It won't go to the next stage. It won't go to the next stage. So here, every stage, should have a satisfying condition for that PO. Every stage should have a satisfying condition for that PO. Then only it will go to the next stage. Otherwise, it will fail in that stage itself. Clear? Suppose example, you have not configured any rules under for the change order here, and you configured here and you configured in the next stages. You configured in the next 3 stages for the change order, but you did not configure anything here for the change order. It will fail. It won't trigger the next subsequent approvals. It won't. Clear?
Sir. Sir, how will come to know in which stage we need to configure the these rules and conditions? Like there are so many like
Suppose-
pre-approval terms and post-approval, right?
That point I already mentioned in the last class. Okay, how you want to take the approvals? You want to take the approvals in serial way or parallel way? Accordingly, we need to pick up the stage. Suppose you want approval to be happen in serial fashion, one after one.
Sure, okay, I mean that is okay, but I mean 3 stages are there, right? Pre-approval, main approval, and post-approval.
Okay.
How will segregate? I mean this
This
conditions
point
will
also I mentioned, Sai Kiran. Let me repeat that for you. Requisition is the best example for it. Requisition. In case of requisition, you know what is the first step of approval? Suppose I am preparing the requisition for you. I am preparing the requisition for you. So first stage of approval is request approval. So pre-approval is request approval. Okay. So once you approve it, it goes to the main approvers. It goes to the main approvers. Okay. And once main approvers also approved, in the post approval, you can configure buyer approval because the product has to be purchased by whom? Buyer. Who has to make the payment? Finance department has to make the payment. So buyer approval and finance department approval, you can configure as part of the post approval.
okay,
Understood?
okay. Okay, sir.
This is how. Okay. Suppose in your home also, suppose in our childhood, if you need something, first we will ask your mother approval. That's a pre-approval. Then next, who is the main approval? Main approval is your father.
Correct, sir.
Okay, that is
Okay.
main approval. And the post approval, suppose you are very rich, suppose your family is very rich, the post approval is nothing but your accountant. After your father approval, your accountant or your cashier, your house cashier, that guy is going to will give you the payment. Okay, you're taking approval from him also. Understood?
Yes, sir. In every stage, we need to configure the conditions.
Not
and
required. In every stage, it's not required to configure approvals. Even if you configure main stage is enough. Main stage is required. But pre-approval and post-approval, if you don't want to configure anything, just disable it. That's it. So here in the screen, only main stage is configured. Is there any pre-approval configured here? No. Is there any post-approval configured
Okay,
here?
okay.
No.
Okay, sir.
Not mandatory. Only one stage is mandatory. That's in the main approval. Pre-approval, if you want, you configure it, or otherwise you disable it. Okay, don't enable those stages.
Sir, one more doubt from previous class.
Hmm.
I mean, we have types of hierarchies like job hierarchy, supervisor hierarchy, position hierarchy.
Yeah. Okay.
We need to configure, I mean, all the hierarchies in the system, or I mean, the client will
Based on the
specify.
client requirement. It's based on the client requirement.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So if the client wants to go with the, suppose example, I would like to go with the supervisor hierarchy. The client will tell you during the requirement, client will tell you. Okay. So in case of if my amount is, if my amount is so and so, it needs to be approved by that next person manager. It need to be a next manager. The client will tell you. According to the client requirement, you have to pick up that respective hierarchy. Okay. So mostly 95% supervisor hierarchy is used. Okay. So when you're able to identify the difference between all these 5 hierarchies, you are able to easily understand the client requirement to configure the approvers.
Got it, sir. Okay.
Okay. So suppose here in case of supervisor hierarchy, there is a relationship between the employee and supervisor. When I say relationship, that that person is your manager. Okay. And in case of approval group, is there any relationship between the approvers?
No,
No
we just
relation.
add the.
Yeah, no relation, approval group. Okay. And job level hierarchy, I think we have given, I have already told you, based on the job level, the client wants to configure approvals based on the job level. Nothing but for manager is having a 10K approval limit, senior manager 20K approval limit. That is job level hierarchy. And in case of position level hierarchy, the client will tell you based on the position of the employee, the approval should route based on the position.
Okay, sir.
If you watch this video, these two videos, anyway, I'll explain you the supervised hierarchy, position hierarchy in the coming classes. But if you watch the supervised hierarchy and position hierarchy class YouTube videos, you'll get full clarity. Okay. So
Okay, sir,
now
thank you.
I'm covering all the important factors for the approvals. But later in the coming classes, I will configure and I will show you by routing to the approvals also in the coming classes. Nothing but here. You see, employee supervisor hierarchy, job level hierarchy. Okay. So later in the coming classes, I will configure and show you. I'll route for the approvals also. Okay, team.
Yes.
Any practice doubts? I received only few emails. And that too, long back. What others are doing, team? Okay, you have
Yesterday I
got
sent,
lot
sir.
of time I've given. What is doing by others? Where is your practice status? When
I
there is
sent
no
yesterday,
time,
sir.
when there is no time, you'll say no time, sir, no time, sir. But 5 days time is there, right? I expected a couple of emails, but I received only few. Okay, it's up to you. You are not serious about your career. Why should I bother about you every day? Thanks, Harish. This is from Sirisha.
Yes, Krishna.
Actually, the last 5 days, is it's a good time that you got to finish whatever the topics that you are lagging. Okay, thank you. Shishir?
Yes, sir.
You're facing this issue, huh?
Yeah, actually, sir, after watching that hierarchy videos, I was practicing and I faced this issue. So I've
Okay.
seen.
You understood what is the problem for that?
No, sir. While creating position, I was getting this.
So this I explained in multiple classes, sir. 2 students are asked me the same issue. I explained. Okay, in this instance, the position that you have created, somebody configured approvals for that position.
Okay.
The position is not approved. That's what is not allowing you to use the position when you are
Okay.
defining the employee.
Yeah.
Without adding the position, you create the employee. Without adding the position, you create the employee. Okay. Don't add the position.
Okay.
That's why, not only you, Shirish, I always ask and everybody to insist. If somebody is asking a question, you have to listen to me because you face the same issue next time or maybe some other time, right?
Okay.
People are thinking it's not my issue. Why should I concentrate? Everyone, you have to concentrate just for 1 hour. Navina,
Yes, sir.
very good, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
You covered every setup and every field. Wonderful.
Thank you,
Sindhu. Any more doubts, team? Any practice doubts? Very good, madam. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Did I miss to practice status from anyone to review?
My sir.
Sai, you watched those 2 videos? Supervisor hierarchy, position hierarchy videos?
Yes, sir.
Okay. This is entered off. Very good, man. Good work.
Thank you, sir.
Soumya is on 26th. Costing. Soumya, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Oh, very good. So costing you completed practice, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. I think only you are the second one who completed the costing module practice. What happened to others? Practice. Without practice, wasting your time, wasting your money. $53 members are there in this batch, and I'm receiving practice status emails from how many? Okay, it's up to you. No, you want to waste your time and waste your career, it's up to you, team. Okay. I'm here to mentor, that's it. Okay, thank you all, and I'll see you tomorrow.